How hip-hop music influences negative assumptions on males.
One of the most popular genres of popular music in the last 3 decades has been criticized of fostering problem behavior due to the ample referrals to violence and substance use in the lyrics.
There have been many claims in the past that hip-hop music had some type of influence on those who listened to it. This then led to the idea that hip-hop must have had an influence on young men, as there was a rhetoric around young men and violence at the time. The image presented in gangster rap lyrics contributed to distorted public perceptions of young black men as inherently threatening, criminal, and deviant. Hip-hop can be both a space of resistance and a site of oppression.
There are a couple of words that need to be defined. They are used throughout the video. The first is hip-hop, which is a style of popular music of African American and Hispanic origin, featuring rap with an electronic backing.
We also define young adults as the age range of 18 to 25 years old. We also defined influence in this context as the social, mental, and physical effects that led to change in character or identity. Hip-hop music began as a way for the marginalized communities to express themselves.
It then grew into a worldly type of music where everyone and anyone can listen and find enjoyment from it. This has since caused a sort of concern to fall on the impact that this type of music can have on the younger generation who listens.
However, hip-hop could not be the biggest influence on young adults, as tangible items like alcohol and smoking devices have more of an influence than the music does. The way in which the media portrays hip-hop reinforces the idea of these harmful stereotypes around young men, which adds to these assumptions about aggressive and violence found in this music source.
Since there tends to be no positive coverage on this specific type of music, it would be hard for the world to preserve this music as anything other than negative. This then leads to thoughts and feelings developing towards those who listen or create hip-hop.
This leads to young men that either identify with hip-hop or ones who are associated with it are judged wrongly based on public perception due to these media outlets. The author argues that the media doesn't just reflect social biases, it also amplifies them and shows the truth behind them. By consistently framing hip-hop in a negative light, media coverage encourages audiences to internalize those representations as truth, which deepens the prejudice against its listeners.
The historical and social aspects of hip-hop show how the music genre came out as a reaction to the oppression and inequality that the African American community was facing. The quote from Lewis and others showed that the intent behind the music was to spread the word on how these artists experienced life. This then got turned around to how these artists live life and why violence is included in the conversation.
This study explains that music can have this aggressive attitude, yet it goes on to explain how outside factors add to the music these young boys are listening to, which has greater effects on them overall.
Hip-hop music is oftentimes blamed for promoting aggressive behavior, which then adds to the negative assumptions around its listeners.
From this study, a stigma around impacts of hip-hop music would begin. While this was a true study, there were many implications and outside biases that were not included in the study as a factor in impacting substance use. The author argues that statistical associations alone cannot capture the complexities of human behavior. Studies that connect hip-hop to negative outcomes often overlook systematic influences such as poverty, education gaps, and social marginalization. These are factors that shape both the music and its listeners.
The community that was built off hip-hop music not only helped shape how other people perceive these young men, but it also shaped how the young men perceive themselves.
This influenced the development of needing to put on a front of toughness to feel seen as a man. This is then perceived to others around them as acts of defiance and aggression.
Without knowing the true reason for why hip-hop was created, it is easy to assume these negative stereotypes around hip-hop and how it impacts these young men. All the culture embedded into the style of music is crucial to understanding the use of verbiage and topics that hip-hop music uses.
Both authors argue that hip-hop is more than just music. It is a survival tool and cultural outlet. It serves as a space where marginalized youth can construct their identities, cope with systematic injustice, and articulate their experiences in ways mainstream narratives often exclude. To wrap up, hip-hop plays a very complex yet important role in shaping young men throughout the U.S., specifically young black men, and how they are perceived by others. The specific type of verbiage used in songs, media coverages, and interpretations of the music genre led to these destructive stereotypes of young men being violent in our society. To challenge this, society must move past our assumptions made to be able to understand and appreciate the form of music hip-hop truly is and what it was intended for.